Welcome to the EntreprenHer Show. Today's guest is Rosana Calambichis, president of BigChef Catering and BigChef Online. I am Heidi Richards Mooney, founder of Women in E-Commerce and host of the EntreprenHer Show. And it is my pleasure to bring to you today's program. Let me tell you about today's special guest. According to Rosana, experience and travel, these are an education in themselves, taught Euripides, the Greek playwright. The doctrine is fundamental to her ultimate success. Rosana's drive to become a successful entrepreneur began as a young girl, a Brazilian native raised in the metropolis of Sao Paulo. She obtained her degree in family law at PUC-SP. Believing in education beyond the classroom, she traveled, residing in Cali, Colombia, and Angola, Africa. In 1991, she moved to Florida. Ultimately, her understanding of different cultures enhanced her knowledge of international business and fed her appreciation of world cuisine. Inspired by her mother's accomplishments as an award-winning chef and published cookbook author, and her father's successful attitude and leadership, Rosana decided to combine her business expertise and food interests with Rosana Calambichis, her partner, restaurant, and people experience, leading to the acquisition of BigChef in November 2003. By 2004, she obtained an MBA in Global Business Management at University of Phoenix in Fort Lauderdale. Rosana firmly believes in integrating with the community. The outgoing entrepreneur has taken on leadership roles in numerous organizations as well as sponsored several events around the globe. From 2015 to 2019, Rosana was president of Women in E-Commerce. She selected for the first pathway of prosperity in the Americas in Washington, D.C., one of 4 Americans among women entrepreneurs from 14 countries. She has been recognized with many awards from NABO to the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce to Broward Alliance and more. Rosana's passion for dining extends beyond work to her professional life, making entertaining guests a favorite pastime. In addition to creating tasty treats with her son Felipe and her husband and partner Mano, she continues to travel, enjoys golf, and strolling along the beach. And living in Florida, why not? Welcome, Rosana.
Thank you, Heidi.
Well, of course, you and I are personal friends. We've known each other for several years. I think I met you when you first came to Florida, and I think it was it definitely was a day that changed my life, much for the better. And I thank you very much for not only being so supportive of women and the community, but me and our organization and all that we do as women entrepreneurs. So thank you, Rosana. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I would like you, of course, I would like you to tell our audience about your company because, you know, there's just no time to say everything in an introduction. And I think coming from you would be much better. So let people know a little bit about your company and what it does, both your companies, because I know you have more than one.
Okay, thank you. It's my pleasure being here. And the sisterhood that we have is just like a blessing since last millennium. BigChef is a food company, USDA and FDA inspected. We are also a full-service catering company. We've been delighting palates in South Florida since 1999, and we also ship e-commerce nationwide.
Yes, you do. So you manufacture food, you deliver it nationwide, and you also cater, correct?
Yes, it's correct. If you make it, might as well serve.
Right.
So, and we have a huge variety of items from breakfast items and desserts to desserts. So we have salads and sandwiches and mainly hors d'oeuvres, canapés, entrées, sushi, dips, cakes. So it's like a huge kitchen with different small kitchens inside within.
And you're I don't know if what you call it, if it's a plant or a warehouse or a factory, because it's really more than that. It's almost like you go into someone's home. It's very inviting. You have a nice area to greet people, and then you have all the people in the back doing all the things that they do to make your business run like just so beautifully. And it's a great tour. I hope if any of you are in South Florida, when you start doing tours again, that we can plan one of those, because I think that it's such a not only inspiring, I think that it's enlightening for people to really see a behind the scenes of what goes on in different businesses, and in particular a business like yours, where, you know, everything you do, first of all, is very perishable. So let's talk a little bit about that, because it is. Tell us about how your business was prior to COVID-19, and how COVID-19 has impacted not only your business, but obviously the hospitality, the entertainment, the, you know, food service business in general.
Well, prior to COVID, we were rocking. BigChef was established in 1999. So after 20 years in business, you've already know, and you have a repeated clientele, and you can plan ahead, and you've already developed the relationships and the rapport, not only with your clients, but also with providers and suppliers. Not to mention your staff, that I have a very high retention ratio for this industry, because we bond and I make them feel comfortable. And it's not only their staff, but also their families that are part of us, like a big family, Big Chef's family. So as I mentioned before, we're rocking. March is a very strong month for our industry. In addition to the major sports events and concerts and festival, we have the daily operation. So we got the orders and we got ready. In fact, I had just arrived from Europe in February, and by then COVID-19 was spreading very fast there. And I'm very proactive, so I step into BigChef, which is a facility, which is a manufacturing plant. And immediately I implement what I call the C protocol. So I've intensified the sanitation processes and procedures, and also I start taking the temperature from my staff and everybody stepping into the company since February, and I kept a log of it, and I closed my doors so nobody could come inside BigChef. And we're just the delivery, the suppliers, and we take the temperature, or my staff will take. So I'm thinking, we're self-contained, because the well-being and health of my staff is number one. Right. So taking care of this first, I could take care of my clients. We reconfirmed all the orders. We made the request of the raw ingredients, and we prepared. So we built the inventory, and we were just getting ready. So when they decided to do the shutdown, and within 24 hours, I lost 10, 20, 30, 40, all the orders. And you have to understand, I have a relatively large facility. So all my freezers were full with the product, and my coolers with the raw ingredient for fresh product. Takes a lot of planning, preparation in my industry to be able to provide for all the clients and have everything done. So not only I lost the orders, but I had to take care of my suppliers and my providers and my staff that worked. So it was just like a bucket of ice that was being poured over me, thinking what to do with all of this, because if you shut down, nobody's going to order, there's no parties, there's no events. So the number one thing was my staff, because they are part of our company, okay? And I impact many lives and their families. So first thing I did is I've decided to lay them off, because I had no work. So I said, I'm not gonna furlough you because I don't know tomorrow. I am not firing you either, but I need to make sure you are okay so I can think. You know, I can breathe and I can think. So I put my managers, I did not lay off everybody, the people in salary I kept, and I put my managers to able to assist them in processing their paperwork. So luckily enough, they were just in the beginning, because I act quickly, and they all qualify and they always start collecting. So as I took care of my staff, I could breathe. If I could breathe, I could think. So I'm like, okay, now let's tap into survival mode. Okay, everybody is. So I composed a very nice letter email and saying, the Big Chef looking for people to feed. And I send it out, and I try to think outside the box and see possibility of that would be running, or people that would need it regardless. So first responders, medias, seniors, and I send out the email to key people, hoping that they could, knock a door for me or give me a name, just a reference name. And lucky enough, we were able to get an opportunity to provide seniors for the Broward County.
Excellent.
So immediately I brought my people. It was interesting. The first thing I had to do, because since we used to do with events and high end, I'm used to have microgreens and the food from the fresh market. And now I'm dealing volume with a simpler meal. So which is the first thing we did is to hire a purchaser that was able to buy different things. And I brought my staff back, and I'm calling everybody, and they came back immediately. I had no issue, perhaps because the same way I took care of them in the beginning, they were able to, take care of us, and they were there immediately. So they came back to work, and we gave the same, so we start rolling again. The lights were on, and we were closed for, I don't know, a couple of weeks until we had the contract done and approved. So an opportunity came our way.
But you had the foresight and the vision to be able to think ahead, where I think a lot of people at that time thought, oh, this too shall pass. It'll last a couple weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. We don't need to do anything. And I know a lot of businesses who, because they didn't not react, because reacting is what you do when it's a negative situation, but proactively come up with something to do that would keep them in business. You see, especially in your business. I'm in a business that is similar in that the floral business, it's not a necessity. It's not one of those businesses that's going to stay open when everything is shutting down. I've just been very fortunate that I've got clients who are, we have big companies like you're not delivering just 1 or 2 meals at a time. You're delivering hundreds. And so when it impacted you, it was like impacting a big hotel or a restaurant, because you had a lot of people you depended on to stay in business as they depended on you to supply them with the food and the ingredients and the things that they needed to serve their clients. So I applaud you for being so proactive. I know we had those conversations early March of the things that you were going to do. And I think that I'm just so excited that it was successful for you, in that it kept your doors open, and you didn't have to close down. So,
yes.
So what else did you do to pivot to change your business model so that you could keep those doors open and keep those people employed?
Well, our industry, the hospitality industry, the entertainment industry got crushed. Okay, we don't hit hard. We still are. We just got crushed. So the way that I thought, which again is the key word is proactive, is my people being healthy. I just have to find the people to eat, basically, to find guests to eat. So I have to retrain them. It's so interesting because they are used to do elaborated hors d'oeuvres, elaborated canapé, and using the tools and their fingers. And suddenly I'm just like, scooping those things just to understand that they were having a sloppy jaw to say something. And they were molding the potato to put under this here so we look pretty. And I'm like, no, we have to consider volume. So it's interesting. So I have to retrain my people to be able to put in the mindset that we have to do volume. I had no more freezer space, because you see large orders for the tennis tournaments and so on. They are large orders for us.
Right.
So I had my freezer were full, and nobody was getting hors d'oeuvres and so on. So we had to convert one of our production room into a freezer to be able to store this.
Wow.
Then I had to consider, yes, and as they were doing this here, they could not, I need the volume, okay, to break even point. I need the high volume to break even.
Right.
So they had an issue with the scheduling. So I have stepped up to the plate and I said, please let me run the scheduling. Let me run the routes. And my staff, my right hand says, but I don't even have a program for routes. And I said, it's okay. It's just a spreadsheet. Send me an Excel, 3 clicks. We reorganize an Excel, and with that's it. Becomes here 4 clicks, takes 4 clicks. So I believe I simplify things to them, which makes easier. At the end of the day, it's just food. It doesn't matter what they are eating. But I think the care, attention, and dedication that we put into a well-elaborated hors d'oeuvres is the same that we put into a very simple meal. In other words, I share the passion for food creation with my team.
Well, and it's interesting that you said how you had to retrain them because, you know, I think some companies don't think outside the box that maybe we should simplify our menu, or maybe we should come up with the top 5 things that will be better serving our clients, or top 3, or whatever it happens to be. And it could be also a service business, not just a products-based business, where instead of trying to be all things to all people, or to, you know, have maybe a large menu, when you simplify, sometimes it also takes pressure off the people, because now they're like, oh, not just the staff, but the people who want to support you. Oh, that's what they do. That's so much easier, because obviously we're not having parties. So if we're not having parties, we're not ordering hors d'oeuvres. And if you think about it, the people who need those packaged meals that have, you know, the right ingredients and the right proportion of the nutrients that they need, doesn't often include those beautiful canapes and hors d'oeuvres, because they'd have to have too many of them in order to get that type of thing. So I can see, and I know how your people are, and I know they're all artists. They all take such great pride in everything that they do. So I'm sure that they are taking pride in now recreating and reinventing themselves. And so you've given them something really valuable as a lesson in how to, you know, if you think about it, they can translate that to their home life. Look, they can say, oh, Rosana showed me a simple way to do this. How can I make life simpler at home too? You know?
Yeah, well, and I train them also how to be safe and the families. So I'm very proud to say that we are ready in September, and we haven't had no one case directly, indirectly related to BigChef of anybody with COVID. So this is very good, huge.
Yes.
And another thing that I've done now that we started with the news for seniors, I came up with a new menu of a vegetarian for seniors. So we have an alternative options to be able to get into this. And the way we get into our old clients in the hospitality industry, the small one that is slowly opening, and they also have their whole staff and furlough. So they just have a key chefs there, and slowly, gradually, and restarted. So we have offered to custom make items for them. So I'll work with the chefs, with the recipes and the restaurants, and I'll make an item that is a volume for them until they can pick up again. So it's a way not to bring somebody in part-time and here, but is able to maintain the consistency and the quality that they are used to. So we've got a couple of them also.
Well, that's wonderful, because now you're providing another service that might end up being a long-term solution for some business who may not want to necessarily go back to the old way of doing business, because I think that that's what's coming up with all that this has happened. What do you think how this will impact your industry in terms of the changes that you have made? Do you think they're going to be short-term or long-term? How do you think that people are going to do business with you now, that as things start to move forward and open up? And you gave a great example.
Yes. I think it's going to have a more smaller events, because I think if people get used to it, you cannot stop your life until you have a vaccine. You have to start living your life and adapting to whatever is present. So I had the weddings that I'm having the first event tomorrow, Friday, here in Hollywood. Okay, of course, it's a smaller event. And the cute thing is that they have 2 hours. So they have 6 to 8 guests and 8 to 10 guests.
Oh,
So
wow.
to be able to break, very interesting. I thought it was a very, it was a brilliant idea. Of course, I came up with a new protocol. I don't know if you saw in social media, the 2020 new protocol. So when you host an event, how to put the chairs apart, the paper parts, try to create your own way to greet your guests without touching them. I have these things there. So all these things, I believe we're going to have more smaller events happening. I also launched, because I believe the Zoom and the virtual will still continue heavily. So I also launched the virtual party catering here locally. So I'm able to provide these boxes, depending on the time, or lunch boxes or hors d'oeuvres box and so on. And I'm able to deliver within 2 hours time frame in Broward County. So everybody, when you have the Zoom, everybody can do it together and enjoy the same meal, or enjoy this here, something, you have this
Oh,
to be
yeah.
creative.
Well, and you know what? You mentioned that, and the Davie Cooper City Chamber, of which I am a member, they're doing something similar. And are you a member of the Davie Cooper City Chamber?
No, I'm not.
Well, they do a box lunch where you register on their web, and then you place your order, and then they have it delivered to your home. So you do these virtual lunches. So that sounds like what you're talking about. And I was going to mention to you, I think that's a brilliant idea, and it's forward thinking, and it's keeping your audience engaged, which I think is so important, and also keeping your employees busy doing what they love to do. Come to work every day.
Working. This year, this is a matter of this. This year is a matter of reinventing yourself, adapting, surviving, and enjoy this beautiful South Florida.
Oh, absolutely. What's been the most surprising thing, do you think, that has come out of this for you and your business through all this, global challenges we've all been facing?
It's interesting how you can you can find pleasure in the little things.
Yeah.
It is, so which is, I maintain, it's interesting because I keep a thermometer with me since February, as I mentioned. So I've seen my friends, but I carry the thermometer.
Great
Okay, but not
idea.
a mini group. So we have smaller groups, but it's so funny because you have more time for them and you enjoy it. And, the walk with your husband at the end of the day, or just around here. And so I think it is the pleasure and the simpler things of life. I think this is the best what it is. And also the people. My mom, I haven't, because she's in Brazil,
Right.
and I have not spoken to her. I have not seen her, but I call her every day. And for her, she's feeling like she's a teenager again, because she had the custom made the dresses with the mask matching.
Oh,
So
wow.
she's waiting for the invitations to go showcase.
I love it.
So it's just like each one is coming up with a different way. So, and of course, I've improved the hobbies. You end up improving your skills too, because you have more free time. So.
Oh, that's so funny. Your mother and I are a lot alike, because I am, me, I'm 5'3". So everything I buy is always too long. So as I cut the hems, I've been making masks to go with my dresses. So it's funny. I've only bought a couple of things because I'm not going anywhere. But the couple of things I bought for the 2 events my husband and I have been to in the last couple of weeks, I made matching masks, and everybody like, oh, wow, that's really cool. So, but if you're tall, you can't do that. You can just buy material and hope it matches. Anyway, there's so many beautiful masks out there. It's amazing the creativity that people have come up with during this time. And instead of sitting around saying, oh, poor me, they're really taking this on as a new opportunity. And, personally, I think a lot of people, you would think maybe the divorce rate might go higher, but I think that it's a chance for us to get to know one another again. Because, where our lives are so busy, think about you and Mono. I mean, you work together, you are home together, you entertain together. Your lives are so entwined, more than a lot of couples, because of the fact that you own a business together. So this is probably not a big deal for you because you're so used to already being together. But now being together means not being with all those other people that you're totally surrounded with all the time. So how has it really affected? I'm sure it's been a a great thing for you. You can tell us the good stuff.
It is. Well, we've been playing like family night. We play cards. My herb garden is getting beautiful in the house. My piano skills are improving, so which is the manual plan. My Philip is fishing. So it's a lot of good things. And family time has improved tremendously. Just the ability to have the luxury or having the free time at the same time.
Yeah.
You see, because usually when my son was free or he doesn't have something, I have an invitation, I have an event to go. So like this, just to being together is just like very nice. It's a pleasure.
It's so wonderful.
Enjoy.
So tell us about what you love most about what you do.
You see, let's consider now that we're making the meals for the seniors in the community. A lot of them makes the phone call, okay? They are not computer savvy. And I've received so many phone calls. One of them, I'm so proud to share, the lady was just, Leah, your food is so tasty that I took out a tablecloth and my china to enjoy it better. This is, for me, this is like priceless. Usually my answer would be, which is the truth, since we provide meals for events, for get-togethers, for parties, for all special occasion. So we make money when people celebrate. So this is like, it's a happy profit, so this is kind of enjoyed. When you do things that you like and you see, there is a pleasure in eating, and people appreciate what they receive. Okay, either the canapé, the dessert, or the meal. So the customer appreciate the food. They appreciate the care and the love that you put into it. So this is priceless.
Well, I can tell you that I know firsthand how great your food is. And I honestly have to say that I appreciate any food that is made for me that I don't have to make myself. And I'm not a bad cook. My husband always tells me I'm a good cook, but I have to be in the mood, and that's rare. One day a week I figure out what I'm going to make. So my personal challenge has been to try to do one new recipe a week. I'm not good. I haven't done it every week, but pretty much every other week I try one new recipe, and it's just fun. And it's just the two of us. So, that's a challenge too, when you're only cooking for two. So what you provide is wonderful, because it can be for just one or 100 or 1,000. Right. And I know you've done it for 1,000 and more. Yeah. So with such a busy and fulfilling career and personal life, Rosana, how do you find time to give back to the community? I know, when we read your bio, that was just the tip of the iceberg of all the things that you do and have done in the community. But you have to have some sort of secret or some sort of system, or what is it that drives you that you can find the time? Because you have to find the time, really, with your busy schedule.
Right. We are part of the community. We contribute and we impact the local economy. To be involved is to care. So at the end of the day, it's a giver's gain. Recently, they asked me, how do I feel helping the community providing affordable meals for seniors? And my answer was, we are the one being helped, because in times like this, it is assisting BigChef to maintain the stability. So it's just, it's a natural. I think being involved in the community is just a natural. It's just, just care for where you live.
Well, and I think any business that wants to stay around for the long term needs to give back and be a part of the community. You can see it from the richest person in the world to the one with the one person show, the solopreneur. The ones that I see that last are the ones that are constantly giving back. But you give back in ways that a lot of people go, wow, how does she do that? She's involved in this group and that group, and she helps this group, and she does things for that group. What do you love? I mean, I know you love the fact that you're helping a lot of people, but if you could pick one group that you really love to serve outside of the ones that you serve through Big Chef, what would you say would be that group or that demographic of people?
Heidi, I do not have any specific one. You see, I work with food, so I receive a lot of requests, because every meeting goes food. Every meeting,
Right.
there's food involved. So it's always constantly asked, because I even have one, I said that past performance now represent my future commitment. So I just choose as they come, and I'll select them on a quarterly basis, the one that I will be a part of.
Okay.
That is something that I like, is related to women entrepreneur, because I believe as the women grow, she will assist the community, or they tap into the economy and exponentially. We'll find the time to help a friend, to talk to the mother, to care for someone, to get this, to donate, to buy something, to shop for a dress, to be able to buy a gift for somebody, to listen to the other one crying. So we just find time for everything. And nothing against the boys, but the boys will provide money and they contribute with the money, and we find the time for this. So I have a little soft spot for this. And also the ones that is educational, because I believe that if you can teach somebody something, they will pay it forward, they will do a positive impact. But to pick one group, I do not have one. I'm pretty involved in the Alliance for many, many years, in several different organizations there. The Women in Ecommerce. I'm a Women Executive Club, but it's just one of many of them,
Well, you answered my question, because I would have said women in general, and probably business as the bigger picture, that you want to support business, especially small business, helping them grow and things like that, because you're a mentor to a lot of people. So I think that, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I know just from knowing you for the last 20 years, what you do for the community. And it's not just about women, but I think you might have a little soft spot because you're a woman entrepreneur, right? I mean, we all do. I mean, I don't think we can help it ourselves, Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well diversified. You see, I learned the lesson. I thought providing to convention centers and stadiums and private planes and yachts and country clubs and offices, corporations, residences, and ship online, I was diversified. I thought providing from breakfast to hors d'oeuvres to dessert, we were diversified. And I learned that we're not.
No.
Okay, so no, because every time that our meals were meant for special occasions, for getting together. So this is what I've learned, and it's okay, which is good. We gotta continuously learning something. So I think my goal is to be well diversified. Right now, I somehow gonna continue in the meals. Continues with events, continues with this year, and perhaps find a retail item. I still got to explore. For the end of the year, beginning of next year, I will try to tap into other segments of the industry. But for 5 years ago would be for the diversification. On a personal level, actually business related, I think I'd like to start with providing shares to key of my staff, shares of the company, so I can plan to work part-time.
Well, yes, you want to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Absolutely. I know I'm at that point where I'm really, I'm working about 25, 30 hours a week now. And anything I work beyond that is because I choose to, not because I have to. And I really love it. And I think that when you get to that place where you don't have to, you enjoy it even more. And like you, I've always enjoyed and loved what I do. I love especially working with women and helping women and seeing women, blossom and evolve, and pivot when they have to. A lot of my friends like you have done amazing things through this whole I have a client who's also a friend, and she's a Reiki instructor and a spiritual guru, and she's just a very spiritual woman. And I have seen her blossom and grow more during this COVID-19 than she probably had in the last 5 years, because she really didn't have to so much. You know, it was kind of like I think a lot of the world was kind of at a status quo. Everything was going along, you know, every day was every day. And now it was like almost like a rebirth for many people. You know, I know it has impacted a lot of people negatively. So I just want to call attention to the people that it has impacted in a positive and beautiful way, that they have been able to take advantage of, you know, this opportunity in our life that hopefully we never see again, and nobody has ever seen. And you know, have really turned it around to something positive and beautiful and meaningful like you have. So thank you, Rosana, for doing that and being an inspiration to so many people. And I know a lot of your staff, and I know they're never leaving you. They will never leave you, you know.
That's why it'd be okay
Yeah.
to, you know, share with them, to
Yeah.
distribute some share to them as a rewarding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you've built the loyalty and the fact that you've been loyal to them. And I think that's so important in business today. So any last thoughts?
Yes, I think so, but especially in a situation like this. You see, we went through hurricane, we went through recessions, and all these things. So what I would say is, whatever life throws our way, assess the situation and decide quickly. Act on your decision as if it was the best and only choice, and trust it will be. You will become stronger, and you handle any situation successfully.
Absolutely. What's the best way for our listeners to get in touch with you?
Oh, I'm very accessible. You can find me on the social media, Rosana Calambichis, Big Chef Online, Big Chef Catering. You can send me an email at rs@thebigchefonline.com, or call the company 954-965-2480.
Woohoo! Say that one more time. 954?
954-965-2480.
Excellent. And when we do the wrap up of this, I will make sure that I put that in the notes so everybody can see it. Thank you, Rosana, for being with us today. You're one of my favorite people. You're always an inspiration to me, and I feel like we're sisters. So I appreciate your taking time today to do this show with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to our audience, I want to say thank you for listening to the EntreprenHer Show, and be sure and stay tuned for our next show featuring Audrey Ori. She is CEO of 13th and Joan Media and founder of the 100 Seeds of Promise Literary Initiative. We have some amazing women doing amazing things in our global community, and I'm just so honored and delighted that I'm able to showcase people like the next guest and our guest today, Rosana Santos Calambichis from Big Chef Online, Big Chef Catering. Thank you, Rosana, again for being with us today.
Bye-bye, everyone.